Hello and welcome back to Zero to NFT. This is our course where we help artists, but also anybody with an audience, for example, influencers or brands that want to release digital goods, be that art or memberships or any other products, to their audience. And we help you go from zero to NFT. In the last video, we had the intro. This time we're going to start to look a little bit more detail into NFTs. And in this video, we're going to look at the different blockchains that you can use to create NFTs. First, I just want to discuss a very quick question. Why NFTs at all? What have NFTs brought us? I think the key thing that NFTs have brought to us that we've never had before is this idea of digital ownership. You can now, for the very first time, own something digitally. We're used to owning houses, cars, gold, physical items, but we've never before been able to physically take ownership of something digital and virtual, and to be able to transfer ownership of that to somebody else. And that is made possible by blockchains, which are this open, global, decentralized ledger that can record things such as ownership. In fact, that's the main purpose of blockchains, is to record ownership in a decentralized way so that we can record who owns what money, if we're talking about tokens, or what art, or what digital items, if we're talking about NFTs. So blockchains made this possible. NFTs are built on blockchains. So let's take a look at some of the different blockchains that you may want to consider when you are creating your NFTs. I do have to say that this is a decision that you're going to have to make. It's not always easy because different blockchains offer different things. So the first thing we're going to look at is EVM. That stands for Ethereum Virtual Machine. So EVM blockchains are Ethereum based. The first of those, of course, was the Ethereum blockchain itself. Since then, there have been many copies, forks, we call them. So people have copy pasted the blockchain to create a new one. And but all of the copies of Ethereum all fall under the category of EVM. That means they work in this pretty much the same way. You can use the same wallet. MetaMask is very popular. That can be used with any of EVM blockchain. And a lot of the applications and pieces of code and tools that were built for Ethereum will, generally speaking, work in the exact same way with any other EVM blockchain. So let's look at some of those. So the first, of course, is Ethereum itself. Ethereum is one of the oldest blockchains. The price has gone up a lot, and while we don't really talk about price very much here on this course, it is important to think about it from one perspective, and that is there are a lot of people with a lot of ETH and have a lot of money on the Ethereum blockchain. What that means, if you're an artist selling art, is that Ethereum is a great place to sell your art. Lots of users, lots of money on there, and it's quite high end. Now, the drawback to that is that blockchains charge for block space, and they charge for people to use the blockchains. So if you release NFTs on a blockchain, there is a charge for you to create the smart contract to create the NFTs. And there's also a charge for the people who want to purchase your art. They have to pay a transaction cost. And in the case of Ethereum, it can get extremely busy at times, extremely busy. And the gas cost to do any transaction on Ethereum can be exceptionally high. So it can happen where you're selling something for, let's say, $50 on Ethereum, and at that point in time, the network is so highly utilized that people may end up paying $100 in transactions to buy a $50 item from you. That is Ethereum. You just have to be aware of it. And there's not much you can do about it except hopefully time it well when the network is not too busy. Another EVM chain that you may have heard of is Polygon. A lot faster, a lot cheaper than, well, sorry, not so much faster, but a lot cheaper than Ethereum. Not so much art on Polygon, I would say. A lot of games are on there, a lot of utility. Starbucks have their loyalty program on there, but you tend not to see too much art. It's not considered as high-end a place for art as Ethereum, for example, but it is good for membership tokens, social tokens, and other utility. And there are many more EVM chains. We won't go into all of them, but another one we can have a quick look at is Avalanche. Again, it's an EVM chain. It does have some art on there, and there's quite an interesting marketplace on there now called 0 to 1, which has been started by Coldy and some of the OG Ethereum artists. So I think that's going to be getting some attention, and that could be a good option to think about if you want to release art. You want to do it on EVM chain, and maybe you're a little worried about the Ethereum blockchain being busy and very expensive. Then, of course, there are also non-EVM chains, and Solana is a very well-known, popular chain. It's extremely fast and it's extremely cheap, and there is quite a lot of art on there. A lot of the art is a little bit more in the PFP, that's profile pictures area. Things like Bored Apes, for example, or a PFP on Ethereum. But there are a lot of those types of projects on Solana. But there's also some, real art there as well. It does have quite a few users. There is quite a bit of money on there, so there's a reasonable art scene. It's not bad. Another one that definitely is worth a big mention here is Tezos. Tezos is known primarily for art. It's extremely popular for art, for generative art, for all types of art. The transaction costs on Tezos are very low, so it's cheap and it's easy to release art there. It's easy to buy and sell art cheaply, but there is also some quite high-end art there, and there is a very big community there of collectors and artists. So Tezos definitely an interesting one if you are releasing art. And of course, Bitcoin, the OG crypto network and blockchain, has rediscovered, let's say, NFTs in 2023. Bitcoin ordinals became extremely popular, and they are essentially NFTs on Bitcoin, and that is definitely something worth considering as well. So that covers most of the blockchains. It's by no means an exhaustive list, but that is a list of some of the more important ones. We're going to dive more into those in the next videos. We're going to start off with the EVM chains, and we're going to look at getting you started on EVM chains, getting started with a wallet that works with EVM, taking a look at Ethereum, taking a look at Polygon. We'll have a quick look at Avalanche, and we'll talk more about that. So looking forward to seeing you on the next video as we get into the EVM chains. See you there.